I joined TechCXO about 2 months ago, and they are an unusual consulting firm. We have about 60 partners, about 100 in staff. We're in 8 cities. And what makes us unusual is all the partners are former C-level executives. About 50% of the partners are former CFOs, chief financial officers. The remaining 50% are split between chief sales officers, chief marketing officers, chief technology officers, chief executive officers, and chief operating officers. So unlike most consulting firms that work in a pyramid, there's a partner and then many staff who go to a job or a project. TechCXO, the partners really do most of the work and bring in staff, of course, when there is work that's related to staff levels and a lower fee opportunity. The interim projects can last a long time because what ends up happening, the TechCXO partners become close with the CEO and the board, and so there's a good relationship, working relationship there. And interim CEO or interim CFO positions tend to last a year or more. Projects really are based on the project. It can be as short as 5 days. We did due diligence on a troubled asset. We had 5 days for the client to put the bid in, or it could be as long as a year, again, depending on the scope of the project.
What's your background?
Well, my background is, I started working about 1 million years ago. And I started in...
You don't look that old.
Yeah, he looks good
I'm
for
sorry,
a million,
we both,
doesn't he?
Yeah,
Think about that experience he brings to the table.
Right, I mean, unbelievable.
And thank you, that's very kind. And I started at KPMG, which is a large accounting firm.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
And I was a CPA there, and I went to a small client as a CFO. The CEO got sick, so I took the CEO position. And I said, this is what I want to do for the rest of my career. So I've been fortunate enough or privileged enough to run 5 companies as chief executive officer, 2 for Fidelity Capital, which was the venture arm of Fidelity Investment, and the remaining 3 were for venture capital or private equity groups. Berkshire Partners, Charles Bank Partners, Battery Ventures, and HIG.
So they brought you in as CEO.
They brought me in as CEO.
That's interesting. I mean, my experience with TechCXO is really quite positive. I mean, I know one of your partners in New York who did a deal with a client of mine. He didn't really perform the task of CFO or CEO, but it was a really positive experience. A guy named Steve Licassi.
Yep.
Who was terrific and very smart.
Well, as a newbie here, 8 or 10 weeks, it was really the partners that drew me here. I knew somebody professionally for 10 or 15 years who had become a partner, and I met probably, if we have 60 partners, I probably met 12. And that was what made the difference. Really good guys, really committed to their clients, and it's kind of a loose affiliation of senior professionals. We don't have a sales force. And so the partners kind of refer work and sell their own work. And but they're really good guys and really committed to doing a great job on the projects.